I think Ram is not a ruler or a god, a husband, son, or any other great role we assume him in. I think Ram essentially is a lover, and I'm very impressed with their love story. तो मुझे नहीं पता ये कितना सच है, बट ऐसे कहा जा रहा था कि राम और सीता के 36 में से 36 गुण मिलते थे कुंडली में. मैं बहुत बचपन में कभी किसी से सुना होगा मैंने. So what I'm going to read out is just what they were to each other. Shakti, who is goddess, asks Shiva, who is God, to narrate the story that will comfort all in turbulent times. Shiva narrates the Ramayana, the story of Ram and Sita. Actually, the story of Sita and Ram. In the eternal turbulence of his household, only the Ramayana gives Shiva reprieve. For in every cosmic cycle, Sita and Ram are always at peace in the palace and in the forest. Neither is overawed by culture or intimidated by nature. सीता का स्वयंवर हो रहा है. राम धनुष पे प्रत्यंचा चढ़ाने वाले हैं. I think that's the word. Sita was filled with dread. The rules were clear. She could marry a man who could string Shiva's bow. But her heart did not care for rules. It had given itself to him. In him, she would find all satisfaction. But what if he did not succeed? As the wind whistled, this is when they have, उनको exile हो गया है, वो वहाँ है जंगल में. As the wind whistled, he watched the stars and sensed Sita watching him. This too shall pass, she said. He knew that too. But knowledge is no antidote to anxiety. His mind was like the restless comet. Let us enjoy what we have, my husband, rather than wonder about what we had or could have. Let us enjoy the stars, she said. So while Lakshman watched over the fire, Ram and Sita watched the skies until they were overtaken by sleep. I really like this paragraph that I'm about to read. In the forest, Sita was not Janak's daughter or Dashrath's daughter-in-law. Ram could not lay claims to her as a husband, as he was a hermit. She was just a woman, free to do as she pleased. Ram never demanded anything from her, and so when she served him, he wondered what motivated her. Was it just obligation? Was it simply custom? Was it pity? The more Ram observed Sita, the more he realized it could only be what poets call love. And Sita noticed a lot about Ram. He always looked away when he spoke to her, lest he be ensnared by her glances. And yet, in small gestures, he revealed his love, brushing away thorns in her path, moving in the direction of flowers he knew Sita loved, making sure the rocks they climbed were never too big or too slippery for her. And though she waited for him to finish his meal before she ate, she knew he always ate less, making sure she always had more to eat. Now in the garden of Ashoka trees, अशोक वाटिका में जब वो कैप्चर करके रख दी जाती हैं, no fate is worse than that where one is deprived of one's freedom. The garden she had been put in was full of Ashok trees, short trees with mango-like leaves and bright bunches of red-orange flowers. Sita had seen this plant in her father's house and in Ayodhya. They were dedicated to Kam, the god of love. When the winter was waning, women were asked to embrace this tree. The gardeners believed it made the trees burst into blossom, burst into bloom faster, thereby heralding spring. What a cruel place to be held hostage, worse than any cage. For it reminded her of Ram, of the possibilities of love denied, first by Keke's cruelty and now by Ravan's rage. When she was told tales of Ravana, they did not impress Sita. You call him the devotee of Shiva, and yet he has no shame stealing the hermit's house and even desiring his wife. Ravan, whose hunger seems insatiable, clearly has learned nothing from Shiva, who has outgrown all hunger. He is an expert in astrology. He has written the Ravan Samhita, which reveals how to predict the future by observing the movements of stars and plants and how to change the future using gemstones, said Trijuta. He who seeks to predict the future is insecure. He who seeks to control the future is insecure. Ah, your Ravan is so unlike my Ram, said Sita. She's so smitten by Ram. Seduction attempts. जब रावण उनको सेड्यूस करने की कोशिश कर रहा होता है तो उनको सब बोलते हैं कि वो तुम्हारे लिए ये करता है, वो करता है, तुम्हें you'll be the powerful woman in his वगैरह वगैरह, तुम्हें important फील कराने की कोशिश करता है वगैरह वगैरह. To which she says, that is not love. He does not see me. He just wants to possess me, and finds it frustrating that I do not submit to him. Love is not about power. It is about giving up power, a voluntary submission before one's beloved. Love is about seeing. I see Ram and Ram sees me. I want to be seen by Ram and Ram wants to be seen by me. I have shown Ram my vulnerabilities without trepidation, and so has he. Ravan cannot love another because he sees no one, not even himself. जब राम को पता चलता है कि सीता चली गई हैं या वो नहीं है वहाँ पे, जब वो वापस आते हैं, Ram then began to cry. His tears fell on the grass, which wondered aloud, does the prince weep for his wife or for himself? Is there a difference? This pain of incompleteness is as much hers as it is mine. I am nothing without her, and she is no one without me. You presume too much, the bushes shouted. Sita does not need you. You need her. She is free. You once claimed her as yours, now another claims her as his. No one can claim Sita. Like the earth, my Sita, she allows herself to be claimed. She let me claim her. She found me worthy, and I will not disappoint her, and I will find her. We will be reunited. Only fools are so certain, said a chorus of trees. I'm Sita's fool then. She made me smile and laugh. She told me how thoughts can transform even a tragedy into comedy. Ram then shuddered in sorrow. The trees swayed in joy as they felt his love. तो कहानी सुना रहे हैं हनुमान जी सीता को कहानी सुना रहे हैं अशोक वाटिका में कि वो जटायु को श्री राम जटायु की बॉडी को लेते हैं हाथ में और उठते हैं और कहते हैं थॉटफुल होके कहते हैं एवरी एक्शन हैज अ रिएक्शन लक्ष्मण Sita is being punished because I allowed you to mutilate a woman whose only crime was that she desired me and did not appreciate the rules of marriage. The laws of karma do not follow human logic. Simply by association, an innocent pays for the crimes of the guilty. And it's a very beautiful line, okay? Simply by association, an innocent pays for the crimes of the guilty. Hearing this, Sita told Hanuman, he always told me that knowledge is no antidote to pain. Knowledge is like a log of wood. It helps us stay afloat in the ocean of misery. To find the shore, we have to kick our legs and swim. No one can do that for us. हनुमान बोलते हैं hearing Ram speak thus, I realized Ram was a true Brahmin, he who expands his mind and of those around him, a householder with the mind of a hermit. He does not need a kingdom to be king. He does not need control over a wife to be a husband, said Sita. Sampati stood on a rock that overlooked the sea and stared south for a long time. Then he said, I see an island. I see a city on that island. And in that city, I see a woman. She is the only woman in this city who looks unhappy. All the others have a smile on their faces, like beloveds satisfied by lovers. She is the only woman who wears no gold in that city of gold. That love-lorn woman under the Ashok tree must be Ram's Sita. Is that how he described me? asked Sita. Yes, said Hanuman. Sorry, bad throat. Then Hanuman had an idea. Why don't you climb on my back? I will carry you back safely to him. Did he ask you to carry me back? No. I don't think he knows I am capable of this. It will be a surprise, a pleasant surprise. Let my husband liberate me. His honor is at stake. On Ravana's orders, the Rakshasas tried to grab hold of the end of the Hanuman's tail. But Hanuman kept elongating his tail, much to their irritation. So Ravan said, "Go to the garden where Sita sits, rip off the cloth that covers her body, and use it as a rag to burn this monkey's tail." Realizing that he would get Sita into trouble, Hanuman immediately reduced the size of his tail, allowing the Rakshas to grab it, wrap it with rags dipped in oil, and set it aflame. Hanuman realized that the fire was not hot. It felt cool and comforting. He knew that a woman who is chaste has magical powers like tapasvis with siddh that give her control over the elements. Sita's chastity was protecting him from the heat of fire. She, and this is a very important line, she who needed help was helping him who needed no help. Hanuman's heart was filled with affection. How different Sita and Ram were from all the Vanaras and Rakshasas he had met. अभी ये बैटलफील्ड में है जब रावण और राम आमने सामने हैं. Ravan remembered Supranakha with her bleeding nose, the mocking tale of Hanuman, the burning towers of Lanka, Vibhishana's betrayal, Sulochana on Indrajit's funeral pyre, the dismembered body of Kumbhakaran, the ripped mouth of Taranisen, and the lamentations of Mandodari. And this made him grow angrier and angrier. Ram kept thinking of Sita, quietly awaiting him somewhere behind the walls, and he became calmer and calmer. United at last. All through that day, the people of Ayodhya gazed upon their king and queen, seated like a god and a goddess on the golden throne of the Ikshvakus. That night, when everyone had left, and when the clouds parted to let the moonlight stream into the courtyard of the new queen, Ram finally saw Sita as only a husband can, and Sita finally saw Ram as only a wife can. The exile was finally over.